Okay, picture this. You've just had a really promising sales interview. Great experience, they talk a good game, but are they really ready to hit the ground running and close deals?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar corn, isn't it? So many times there's a gap between how someone interviews and how they actually perform.
Exactly. And that's why we think mastering the sales pitch job interview is, well, it's crucial. It's like your frontline defense for building a team of, true sales experts.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the deep dive. We pull out the essential insights to give you that edge.
And today we're focused, really laser focused, on helping you, the sales leaders, the hiring managers, the execs, use these pitch interviews effectively.
Right. Our mission today, give you actionable strategies to basically transform how you use these interviews and drive real sales success.
It's fascinating how much we sometimes still rely on, just the standard interview questions. Past performance is useful, sure, but the pitch interview, that cuts through the noise.
It shows you their actual selling DNA, right?
Yeah, precisely. It's dynamic. You're evaluating multiple things at once, way beyond just, do they know the product?
Like what specifically?
Well, how they plan and structure their pitch. Do they actually understand the customer, which is the panel in this case? How clearly do they communicate value? Can they handle objections? And importantly, can they close with confidence?
Yeah, it's about seeing that selling skill in action. I like framing it this way. If this person already worked for you, what would you absolutely expect them to do in a real pitch?
That's the perfect lens. It shifts it from just Q&A to like an active demonstration.
Okay, so that naturally leads to preparation, doesn't it? On both sides.
Oh, absolutely critical and often missed. For the candidate to do well, they need clarity. You, the hiring manager, have to be super clear on the brief.
Meaning?
Meaning define the task. Are they pitching your product? Or maybe a product they know well, something they're passionate about. Will you be acting as a specific customer type?
Ah, so setting those parameters clearly.
Yes, because that clarity makes the evaluation much more focused, much more insightful.
And it's not just what they pitch, it's the how, treating it like a real pitch scenario.
Exactly. The recommended structure is gold here. Intro, setting the tone, outlining the problem. Discovery, maybe, if it's interactive. Then the solution tailored, highlighting the value, the benefits.
Preempting objections, too.
Yeah, maybe touching on potential objections. And then close clear next steps. That whole flow. It shows you their sales process thinking in real time.
What I find really telling is seeing if they tailor it. A generic pitch just falls flat, doesn't it?
Completely. It shows they haven't thought about the audience. A sales director cares about pipeline conversions, deal speed.
Whereas a CEO is thinking bigger picture, commercial impact, ROI.
Right. And maybe HR is looking for clear communication, structure, engagement. A candidate who subtly adjusts their message. That shows real sophistication. Stakeholder management skills.
Okay, now here's something interesting, kind of a modern twist. Using ChatGPT for prep.
Ah, yes, that's popping up more. It can be surprisingly useful.
How so? Give us some examples.
Well, candidates can use it to brainstorm sample pitches, get help structuring their thoughts, even practice objections, like prompting it with pretend you're a skeptical prospect worried about price.
Or even role-playing the whole thing.
Yeah, act as a hiring manager who's heard it all before. It helps them sharpen their thinking, anticipate questions, get more adaptable.
So as a hiring manager, you should probably expect more polished candidates now, thanks to tools like this.
You should. But AI practice only goes so far. You still need the old-fashioned practice, actually saying it out loud.
Right, not just thinking it through in your head.
Yeah, definitely not. Recording themselves is even better. It's amazing what you notice. And those suggested times like 30, 60 seconds for the intro, 2-3 minutes on value, a minute for the close, they're good benchmarks.
Keeps it concise.
It does. And that tip about practicing on someone who knows nothing about the product, that's a great litmus test for clarity. If they get it, you're probably explaining it well.
Okay, let's talk objections, because they will come up.
Guaranteed. Things like, we already have a supplier, or, that sounds expensive, we're just not looking right now, or, how are you different from competitor X?
Standard stuff for any of the sales experts out there. So what are you listening for in the response?
It's less about the perfect answer, more about how they answer. Are they confident? Do they stay calm? Do they actually address the concern naturally or just brush it off? It shows their ability to think on their feet.
And then the close. The moment of truth, even in an interview.
Absolutely. You need to see them ask for the next step. Something clear, like, based on this, if it seems like a potential fit, I'd love the chance to discuss this further. What would the next step look like?
Shows they're not afraid to ask for the business.
Exactly. It's a huge indicator.
Okay, so let's sort of boil this down. The sales pitch interview, it's way more than checking product knowledge.
Much more. It's like a flight simulator for salespeople. When you set it up right and know what to look for, you get incredible insight into their real potential.
So, strategic prep, understanding the customer in the room, maybe using tools like AI for practice, nailing those objections in the close.
Those are the keys. They help you identify people who won't just talk about sales success, but will actually go out and achieve it for you.
And if your goal is building that team of high-performing the sales experts, this helps you make much better hiring decisions, less guesswork.
Definitely. You bring people on board who are genuinely ready to contribute from day one.
So, are you ready to elevate your sales hiring, to make sure your team is packed with top closers? Take these ideas. Look at your current interview process.
Yeah, refine it. Ask yourself, how can we really see someone's selling skills in action during the interview?
Make that sales pitch interview count.
And maybe leave you with this thought. If a candidate struggles to effectively sell themselves in the interview, which is, let's face it, relatively low stakes,
Good point.
how confident are you really that they can handle the pressure and complexity of driving actual sales for your organization? That's something to think about as you build your team for sustained sales success.